It's my honor to introduce to all of you Lieutenant Colonel Waldo Waldman. Waldo is a decorated fighter pilot and the author of the New York Times and Wall Street Journal best-selling book, Never Fly Solo. He teaches tactics on how to build trusting, revenue-producing relationships with employees, partners, and customers while sharing his experiences as a decorated fighter pilot and sales expert. And I got to meet Waldo backstage in Jacksonville, Florida, where we're both, as you guys know, part of the American Freedom Tour, Donald Trump Jr., Kayleigh McEnany. And he gave this amazing presentation about his life as a fighter pilot with all this cool, amazing video. And then I find out I had to follow it. I was the guy who had to speak after him. And so when I came out there in front of the audience, we had like 2,000 people there. All I could do was say, after hearing Waldo speak, I've never felt less like a man than I do right now. But seriously, Waldo, he's awesome, and he is with us today. So Waldo, come on out, Lieutenant Colonel. There he is. Look at that, beautiful, wonderful. Great. It's so great to have you here. I'm so excited to chat with you and to talk about how you're inspiring and motivating patriots all across the country. So thanks for being here, Waldo. It's awesome.
You got it, Dr. Steve. It's great to be here. And Hannah, you got a Top Gun on your team there. She's super sharp, and it says a lot about your organization to attract that type of talent and focus.
Yeah. Oh, she's amazing. Oh gosh. She can never, ever, ever leave us. We'll fall apart immediately. Right, Hannah? Is that called guilt tripping? I don't know. I'll find some kind of manipulative term for it, but anyway, Waldo, first and foremost, of course, thank you for your service. You are amazing. You're incredible. And let's start with your backstory, just of how you became a fighter pilot and how that shaped and framed your life.
So, I'm 53 years old. I'm married. I've got a 10-and-a-half-year-old little guy running around. We just got a 10-month-old Great Dane. Life is good. We're all healthy and blessed. I wake up every day in gratitude. My background was a fighter pilot, but I like to call myself a courage monger. There's enough fear mongers in the world today. I like to give people courage. I overcame a lot of things in my life, my upbringing, combat in the military, a lot of struggles, just like everyone watching this program. But I learned about taking my focus and my passion and pursuing something greater than myself through this conduit called the Air Force, through this mechanism called this amazing F-16, right? And I was able to fly this jet, serve my country, and do amazing things with it, kick some serious butt. I love the challenge. And but through that process, I learned about humility. I learned about hard work and honor and the principles that founded our amazing country, which are being bled away every single day from people who don't know what it is that they're fighting for, or they have their eyes and their jets on the wrong target. And so what I try to do is create a vector, a direction, and an energy of hope, of accountability, of responsibility, because I don't believe we could just wake up every day and philosophize our way to success. We've got to show up, just like your guests, just like your YouTube subscribers, just like the folks that are going to be at AFT. You got to show up. You got to act. I was blessed to learn that as a fighter pilot, and most importantly, with parents who taught me values of integrity and hard work and responsibility and all those beautiful things. And if I can say so passionately, they taught us about God and the beauty and the blessing that we have through our Creator.
Oh, amen. Where did you grow up, Waldo?
Long Island, just down the street from you. I know you're a Northeasterner by trade as well. And blue collar family. Mom and dad never went to college. Dad was a mechanic at Kennedy Airport. Grew up lower middle class. One bathroom for 6 people. Wow. I just always remember my dad, and I share this in my speeches, just coming home, working 16, 18-hour days with grease on his uniform, and just emulating the characteristics of America, and so when you see that, not just hear it, when you experience it, it bleeds into your system and becomes part of your DNA. So that's why I'm going to tell the people who are listening and investing their time to spend time with us to be careful who you spend time with on the weekends. Like my dad always said, example is so key.
Good point. Good point. You made it. If I recall, you went to the Air Force Academy.
Yes.
You were in Colorado. Is that you're a mile high above everybody else, right?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
there's a saying. I had a friend of mine who was a teacher at the Air Force Academy, and something like, I mean, God bless all the branches of the service, but aren't you? Is there a saying there?
Like, yeah. I go to the Air Force Academy. It's 5,280 feet, far, far above West Point or Annapolis, right?
I love it. I do. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So you graduate from Air Force Academy. What I really loved about our chats in the green room was just the emphasis that you place on the importance of optimism. I mean, obviously you're a super successful guy. Give us a sense of what's the key ingredients behind your success. Is it optimism? Is it the ability to fight back despair and intimidation? So obviously we've got a lot of that with the political turmoil that we're facing.
Sure. I believe, commitment is critical. And I have a saying, commitment is your attitude in action. Your attitude in action. Some people are negatively committed. Some people don't have any commitment because they have negative attitudes based on a negative outlook on life. They don't put in effort. They have a very pessimistic view. They don't have great examples in their life. They're lazy, whatever it is. And hey, we all can have those characteristics at one point or another every day, right? I wanted to sleep in today and I didn't want to hit the gym and I didn't want to have my green tea, which I'm sipping on here. But I believe in optimism, but more importantly, I believe you get that because you can look yourself in the mirror with confidence saying, I did the work. I opened the book. I humbly asked for help. I sacrificed and didn't sell out. We have too many people selling out today for success, for friends, for money, and we're losing our core confidence, our optimism of what truly drives success in life, which is far beyond a paycheck and far beyond your popularity on Facebook or Instagram. Right. So optimism to me is more of a basis of confidence, because I know, just like before I showed up on this call and we prepare with Hannah, I've been on your website, I checked out your stuff, I'm confident and I'm optimistic because I put in the damn work. Right. And I just believe it's a beautiful thing. I have a saying, God rested on the seventh day, but what did he do the other six? He worked, which is the opposite of rest. And we've got to emulate that characteristic in our life. And the unfortunate thing is we well know that there are wonderful people in the world who are working really hard, who don't have the gifts, maybe the mindset, the relationships, et cetera. So we need to be philanthropic to those. We need to help those and encourage those, get them on the right vector. Right. But I think it's a key tenet of success. And also I'm optimistic and confident because I just have wonderful people in my life who I can call out to for help, who give their wings away to me every day. And that's the basis of my philosophy in life, which is you're never flying solo.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I mean, again, the military draws a particular kind of person. It's extraordinary, particularly at your level, when you're getting in the Air Force Academy or Naval Academy or what have you, West Point. Can I ask, did you experience any of the wokeness that we're seeing back in your day, as it were? Or is this something that has taken you by surprise of late?
There was a little bit of it. I was always, I grew up in New York, blue collar family, like I said, dad was Navy veteran, a lot of discipline. You messed up, you would feel the sting on your hiney, right? And I've never hit my kids, but I told my son the other day, if you continue to do what you're doing again, we're going to have a physical confrontation and your butt's going to hurt really, really bad. Now, I don't believe in hitting children, but it was a conscious awareness of a consequence. And so at the Air Force Academy, I was intense, and this is in '86. I graduated in '90 when I showed up there in '86. I loved it because I was kind of a class clown. I was always joking around, always very successful. But man, I got the discipline put into me very, very quick, and I learned to kind of control my emotions. But I learned that I liked the standards. I believed in giving me something hard to do. Give me something to accomplish that most others can't. Give me a calling beyond myself and put me to work. And I love that pursuit of excellence. So we had that at the academy a lot. And now what's happening, and I recruited for the academy for many years, is we are sacrificing the work ethic, perhaps the honor, the background, the skill sets, the athletic prowess for diversity and inclusion. Now, I believe in diversity and inclusion, but not to the detriment of performance.
Right, right.
And there is an argument to say that there is diversity and inclusion. You know, you get different ideas and context, but at the end of the day, we just can't create that for the sake of including others of different races, nationalities, sexualities, etc. And I'm open to it all. Frankly, I don't judge people. I leave that to God to judge. All I want to know is your performance. So the academy, I had a lot of standards. I pushed performance, and I watched it kind of being diluted with a very small class of men and women there. And they had their little club, just like there's a big club now of mediocrity, of entitlement and excuses. And I refuse to have it at the academy, and I refuse to have it now. And we have to set our standard. Are we going to be liked or respected? Are we going to plant our flag of what we believe are important standards in life early and not allow others to cross them at the risk of alienating ourselves from certain people?
Right. Well,
So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, I mean, the key that you're hitting there, which is so important, is that standards free us. A lot of people just, I saw it with students, and when I was teaching for all these years,
Sure.
Students would think standards stifle us. And I said, can you imagine if you looked at a young Michael Jordan and told him, do whatever you want with that ball? Kick it, turn into paper mache, do whatever you want. Or a young Yasha Heifetz, do whatever you want with the violin. Do whatever you want, tune it anyway, whatever like that. They would still be, as it were, slaves to the thing.
Sure.
But it's when you impose that order and those standards and the rules, and then they learn them and they master them, that's when they become free. That's when they become astonishing. And it seems to me that it's a fundamentally different philosophy. You see standards as freeing, whereas the woke mentality that's out there sees standards as stifling and racist and so on. And the irony is, by cutting themselves off from those standards, they're never going to realize the full potential of their humanity.
And they sometimes they don't know what their potential is. They don't have a vision of their potential. They haven't seen an example that they feel worthy enough that they want to push for. And if they do, it's going to take too much hard work. Yeah. And so standards are synonymous with sacrifice and hard work, and also delayed gratification. Like,
big time.
When you walk into a squadron, you want to be around men and women who have these high standards of excellence, because, hey, guess what? Our life is on the line. And I didn't care how friendly I was with some of the guys or gals in the squadron. If you maintained mediocre standards, fell asleep during the briefing, weren't training and studying, I'm like, hey, I'd play softball with you, have a beer with you, but I don't feel comfortable flying with you.
Right.
And with those standards come consequences, positive and negative. Hey, high standards. Guess what, kids? You could jump into a $30 million F-16 and have the ride of your life. You can reach insurmountable successes in business and life, and have this untapped potential that you can reach and have amazing things, wealth and relationships. But you've got to till the soil. You've got to do the hard work, and you have to be responsible for it. And the problem is, and you know this just as much or more than me, Steve, is we're on a slow, insidious descent to irrelevance by
Mhm.
taking God out of everything, which God has standards,
Right, of course.
from the commandments and all that, from the Constitution. And so we're diminishing our ability to innovate, to be relevant, to capture success, because we feel that we're offending people by having too much money or too much success or whatever. I mean, it's we could go on and on about this, but the folks that are listening, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing to emulate success, to raise my standards, to be around folks who have high standards of excellence and put in the work to develop those calluses of character that are reserved for the folks who are willing to show up and do that. And we just have our eye on the wrong ball, I believe. And I just think, freedom and success and blessings and money and the ability to give and create is a wonderful gift, but it's also being stifled, and it's going to be the detriment of our future, of this amazing capitalistic country that's based on amazing principles that we're diluting.
But give us a sense. That's beautifully said. I love the calluses of character. I'm going to steal that one, Waldo. I'm going to steal. You're getting no credit on that one. I'm going to know. Give us a sense of what you're most excited about being part of the AFT, the American Freedom Tour, and what impact do you hope to make in that?
So, being around great people, my wife was there last time you met, Dana.
Right.
And she's like, it's just so great to be around all these people who want to be there. I speak all over the world, and I don't care, like call it liberal, Democrat, or whatever. And I have very quote unquote liberal friends who I respect tremendously because they are hardworking. They're great parents. They're showing up with their kids. So I think we kind of get labeled in some way,
Mm-hmm.
and they believe in God. They're good Jews and Christians and all that. But I like to be around people who have those high standards, who know that our founding fathers and the Bible and God and patriotism are empowering. Not they don't diminish your character and your energy. And so I want to be around those people. I want to energize the folks in the room to take action. Most importantly, to be willing to set their standard and fight through their voice, through their vote, through their school boards, to not tolerate the mediocrity that's going on in the world. And so I don't want them laughing, having a great time, cheering me and saying, oh, great job, Waldo. Thank you for your service. You're an awesome speaker. I want them to say, you inspired me to do A, B, and C to help my community, or even more importantly, my family get better.
Wow.
Start with the family, start with your own habits, and let that bleed out through your example. And people are going to look at you just like they look at you, Dr. Steve, and they say, wow, there's something about this guy. You've done the work, right? And anybody you experience who's done the work, who's done the action, they may not necessarily have to say it. They show it, and you're around that energy, and it's a beautiful thing. So I want folks to take action. I love to meet some other amazing unsung heroes in our country who are doing great work, because there are a lot of folks who don't have a podcast, don't have a YouTube channel, don't have a platform like us, haven't written a book, but they're doing great work, and I want to inspire them to keep doing it, because everybody makes a difference.
There you go, guys. This is what you get when you come to AFT. You got to be out there in Phoenix. Hey, Hannah, can we open this up to the audience here?
Absolutely. I am going to put a link real quick in the chat here for American Freedom Tour. If you have not signed up yet, I was in a meeting today and someone asked if we were coming to California. Probably not. We're probably not going to come to California at some point. So if you're from California and you would love to come meet Dr. Steve, the incredible Waldo Waldman, please do go. Someone says come free us though.
Yeah, and we will come to California, but you have to get rid of Gavin Newsom first.
Yes.
San Diego could be a decent spot.
San Diego could be a very decent spot.
Mm-hmm. I got married there. I met my wife there, and there's a lot of good conservatives in that area.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There are so many good conservatives, but the policies make it so hard.
They do. They make it very difficult. All the mandates and the like. Yeah.
So I just put that link in the chat. Go sign up if you haven't yet. But I've got some questions rolling in here. So how about we jump into some questions? Does that sound good? So the first one comes from Red. They ask, do you think the current military leadership is on the right track? What's right or wrong and why? Big question.
And they're asking me that about
Yes,
All right. So first and foremost, when you watch the news, in general, I think you're getting a very slanted view. If you look at Colin Powell, love him or hate him, I think he was an amazing leader. Had some challenges, but he was a great man of character. And some people may have disagreed with some of his politics, especially as of late. But you don't know the pressures that are going on in that Pentagon or in the military and the leaders. It's very, very disheartening. And I unfortunately think, and if you look at our current leaders of our military, from I won't even name them, but we know who they are. I think they're selling out in many ways. Maybe they also have their eye on the wrong ball. But I have to say, as somebody who's flown in combat in Iraq, Kosovo, 65 missions, there was so much that I didn't know, and there were things that were going on that I thought was so distorted. And I later found out, hey, you know what? I understand it a lot more now. Mm-hmm. I still have faith in our military. And what concerns me is that it's diluting even more. We are becoming more woke. It's very disheartening. And we have to be very cognizant of the leaders that we promote in there. And that's why, when you look at Congress, who gets nominated for the most prestigious, 1, 2, 3, 4-star generals, et cetera. We need to make sure that we're electing officials who aren't going to check the square just because they fill a certain political ideology. I don't care of your politics when it comes to the military. I care about execution of the job at our hand, is that to protect our borders and do what we need to do. But we all know that it's being diluted. I'm not happy what I'm seeing. As a matter of fact, the Chief of Staff of the Air Force is a friend of mine, great human being. We flew together in South Carolina at Shaw Air Force Base. Great guy. I don't know what his politics are. I don't care, but I'll follow that guy through fire. So just have a little compassion on the men and women who are leading. There's things that you don't see, but if the military is a reflection of what's going on in society, we're in a little bit of trouble. So that's as neutral as I'll be on that precarious subject.
It is. Well, Jim wants to know, how important was your ground crew to making you a successful pilot? Along the same line of thought, what were the characteristics that make a great support group?
Yeah, so in my book, Never Fly Solo, and I'm going to give everyone that's watching here a free audiobook download. I'll put it in the chat, or we'll put something up on the screen. I talk about the unsung heroes. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show a little photo here of my unsung heroes. There's a crew chief doing an inspection on the intake of that F-16, right?
Oh, wow.
And there's a crew chief over there getting his hand shook because that fighter pilot knew that young man and those women that are on the ground, those crew chiefs, those enlisted staff who are turning the wrenches in the trenches, are mission critical to getting the job done. And part of my philosophy in life, and part of what I share in my book and in my speeches, is to appreciate those unsung heroes. They're the ones who are turning the wrenches in the trenches. They're the ones who have your back. So lift them up, appreciate them. And I didn't get it enough when I was in the military. And part of my lesson is that my commanders taught me. For example, when I chewed out a young crew chief for making a mistake and I showed him disrespect, my commander made me walk that flight line on a 12-hour day in the heat of the summer sun and see what these young men and women did. And I'll never forget how hard I worked and how little I really knew about what these folks were doing behind the scenes. So if there's a thing you're doing in your life, if you're working with other folks who are on your team who may not have the same education or the quote unquote success or the tactical prowess, regardless of what they do, make sure you appreciate them, show the good that they do. And that's why I commented on Hannah, because she's the unsung hero, working the system. She's the crew chief on this mission. So great question. and something that I take very, very seriously.
Agent USA says, thank you for your service and wisdom, sir. What is your take on the potential for unmanned systems taking over fighter pilot roles and other vital roles?
So I think it's positive in more ways than not. If we can, use a technical asset without putting a human being at risk, and we could do it tactically proficient and even above and beyond, then why not? The F-16, no matter what airframe you're in, can only take so much maneuvering. Your G awareness, your G limits, the physiological ability of your body to handle that type of maneuvering is limited. But if we have technology and tools that can do the quote unquote war fighting and killing of the enemy for us, then by all means we should make it happen. We do need to have humans, monitoring, et cetera, but there's a lot to be said about technology. That being said, I'm not a big fan of this whole, 3D virtual reality space that the new Facebook stuff, et cetera, whatever the damn name is, Meta or whatever. I was watching their promotional thing, and then like everybody like doing this whole virtual stuff. We got to get back to reality more than ever. We cannot be outsourcing ourselves to a gosh darn video screen and some 3D goggles. We got to get back to the raw reality of life, or otherwise we're going to lose it in this world. There is a time and a place for it all. But this is the reason why we're on a slow, actually a fast, insidious descent to irrelevancy in this country, because technology is taking over for the heart. We've got folks, top guns and generals in their mind only on the computer, spewing misinformation, and even on YouTube, wherever you go. So I'm very cognizant of my 10-and-a-half-year-old. Be careful what he's getting involved with. So I'm passionate about it. We need to start shaking hands, having conversations, one-on-one, eye-to-eye, heart-to-heart, hand-to-hand, as opposed to being on a damn computer all the time. And that's a place where I think we need to get back to humanity, and maybe leave the technology to the military, where unfortunately killing should be as impersonal as possible.
Well, something on a lot of people's minds and hearts right now are these COVID mandates. And many people are concerned about that. This is not something we'll probably be able to talk about on YouTube, but they're concerned about the military getting mandatory jabs. Do you think that we'll be losing a lot of our military and soldiers and Air Force patriots due to this?
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. Look, when I was in, I didn't question it. Maybe I should have. I took the anthrax vaccine, which I have a feeling is a lot worse than the COVID vaccine. I've had every damn shot in my body, and I saluted smartly and did what I needed to do. Who knows the ramifications on my health. I think COVID
Waldo, you were 6'5" when you got that shot, right? Is that what it is? Well, Waldo and I are both comparable heights, so we get to kid around.
Let's just say it's not 6'5", right? I always say, you got to be short, smart, and good looking to be a fighter pilot, right? So you've got 2 out of 3, Steve. I'll let the folks determine what that is.
There's always Botox, but anyway.
Yeah. So So look, I think there's a time and a place. I took the vaccine reluctantly. That was my choice. I think people should have the choice. I do not believe in mandates on your health. My son, they're trying to, now pass the law for kids, or now can take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I don't want him to take it. I will fight tooth and nail. If his private school forces him to take it, I'll probably take him out of the school. I just don't think the risk is high enough. But I think people have the right to make their decision. But in the same sense, like I wear my mask. If other people wear their mask, I'm going to honor what's going on around me. If I don't want to wear, if I see no one wearing their mask, and I'm like, okay, no one cares. Here's what gets me. If I'm going to be on the damn plane, reluctantly wearing my mask, regardless of the fact that I don't want to wear it, and I don't want to wear it when I'm speaking in Vegas, wherever I'm at, but I do it if that's the policy, that's the standard of the area. So my philosophy, and this is the military man in me, is I just follow the damn rules when I see them happening. If you're not wearing your mask on the plane and I have to, I'm like, dude, I don't want to wear my mask. You freaking put the damn mask on because those are the rules. I don't like them. I don't want to follow them. So have respect for each other. And that's kind of how I live my life. As long as we're doing what's responsible and respectful, then that's great. But no, I don't believe in the mandates. I do believe in people making their own choice, but honoring the choice of others, and not vindicating and degrading folks who have a passionate belief on why they should do one or the other, and making it political or whatever. So
fantastic. We're the party of respect, the party of doing what's honorable. So
yes, I agree. And unfortunately, we can't say that for a significant portion of a lot of folks. So.
Well, unfortunately, we are out of time tonight, but Ace did put in the chat section. He says, I want to thank Steve for having such an inspirational individual on tonight. Waldo is a wonderful individual. We could not agree more, Ace. So thank you, Waldo, for coming. This was just a fantastic.
And that's my son's name, by the way. That's my son's name, Ace. So good name. I put my YouTube channel in there. If you guys want to check out some other videos and like me there, or whatever. If you Google Waldo Waldman, I'm all over social media and LinkedIn. Do you want me to give him a free copy to the audiobook? Is that cool?
Oh my goodness.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. And it's a New York Times bestseller. It's $20 on Audible. I own the audio rights, thank God, because I barely make any money on the hardcover. So I give away this for free. Let's see where it's at here. So there I am. There's me on LinkedIn if you want to use the QR code. But that's the link to get to the to my audiobook. Share it with your kids, your loved ones. There's a little Ace Academy, like a video follow-up series, if you want to learn more about it on that as well. But share that with whoever you want, and stay connected, and Godspeed. And it was an honor to fly with everybody today. It was a lot of fun.
Honored to
Awesome,
be.
Waldo.
Well, thank you, Waldo.
Awesome.
Well, we'll see you in Phoenix.
Yeah.
We shall. We're going to push it up. And if you know folks in Phoenix, you better tell them to sign up and register. It's going to be a great event. And, I honor every one of you who invested your time tonight to just hang out and listen to Steve, listen to me rant. We're all very passionate, but the big calling is go out and do. Don't just listen. Don't just laugh. Execute. Do. Don't be a better person. Don't just talk about it.
Oh,
Awesome.
so good. Well, thank you, Waldo.
Thank you, Waldo. Thank you so much.
God bless everybody.
God
Take
bless
care.
you, man. Thank you. See you
See you
soon.
soon.